Right, UFC 287. Israel Adesanya knocks out Alex Pereira to recapture UFC title. Mark Raimondi of ESPN. Miami, Israel Adesanya didn't exercise his demons. He put them to sleep. Alex Pereira beat Adesanya 3 times, twice in kickboxing and twice by knockout. On Saturday night, Adesanya returned the favor and got the albatross off from around his neck for good. Adesanya knocked out Pereira with several brutal right hands at 4 minutes, 21 seconds of the second round in the main event of UFC 287. Here at Kaseya Center with the violent victory, Adesanya regained the UFC middleweight championship. He's the first 2-time middleweight champion in UFC history and only the 4th out of 15 fighters to win their titles back in an immediate rematch. So a lot of action on Saturday night. Dana White thinks that Adesanya is going to now move up to light heavyweight because he had a heck of a time making that middleweight. That weight is very tough to make for these guys. So it looks to be that's the route he's going to go. But big victory, big redemption, and that was UFC 287. You know, we love to cover the MMA, and that's a wrap in sports. Big D, back to you.
Yep, and you know I haven't missed many UFCs since it's been around, and UFC 287 was no different. But the real action started before some of the main events started, and that, of course, if you throw up my screen, Aaron, that was the entrance of the biggest fighter that any of us know.
There he is.
Well, it's just down the street from his house. How could he not go?
The biggest champion of all time.
Walking out with the boss, Dana White.
Love it.
And the crowd went wild.
That's awesome.
And, of course, the UFC fighters know what's up. And it was really cool to see. Mel Gibson was there in the front row, gave him a big salute, shook hands, as did everybody else who was there. Wow. And he sat with Dana White pretty much all night, and the crowd absolutely loved it. People kept coming up to him. There's all kinds of videos of him ringside, and he's sitting there. Actually, leave this up, Aaron. This is this is the picture that, there you go. There's a picture for the media to drive everybody crazy. You got Dana White, you got President Trump, Kid Rock, and Mike Tyson.
Yeah. And that sport ain't getting canceled anytime soon, that's for sure.
That's like the evolution of hair. That's how you go from long hair to medium to no hair.
Yeah, there's the...
that is funny.
Sent the left crazy on Saturday night, that picture, because Dana will have none of cancel anything culture, nor will Kid Rock. I don't know about Mike Tyson, but...
Hey, I'm going to guess that not many Bud Lights were sold at this event.
No Bud Light on the mats.
No, I would suspect not.
You know, because you don't want that frat boy mentality.
They were drinking Coors, probably.
And I can't play right here Jorge Masvidal.
Oh, yeah.
What he said about President Trump, but he called him the greatest effing president in the history of the world.
Smart man.
And then said, we got to get rid of that effing loser in the White House.
Maybe we should get them in the ring.
And then started a Let's Go Brandon chant in the arena.
Biden wouldn't last 10 seconds.
So that came back after 2 years. We got a Let's Go Brandon chant in the arena. And some choice words from Masvidal, who retired. But like I said, obviously Masvidal and Cody Covington and a lot of the UFC guys are obviously, went over to the president. Obviously, they know where Dana White and him stand, how close they have been, how loyal they have been to each other, how loyal the president has been to Dana White when no one else wanted to be or had to be, or it was even in to be. And he's talked about it multiple times. Mm-hmm. That's good, Aaron. You can take it down.
It's awesome.
But it was good to see the president there, and the crowd absolutely loved it. And him and Kid Rock looked like they were having a great time throughout the matches. It looked like at one point Trump may have lost the bet on a fight to Kid Rock. It looked like he may have slipped him a 20 there, or 100 maybe. Maybe they bet on one of them. They looked like they were having a good time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Secret Service probably had the night off. They're like, look at all these guys who can fight. I think we're good.
Yeah, he's covered.
No one was going to get messed with that night, I'm sure.
No way.
I'm sure they did extreme planning knowing that he was going to come up. But Dana White says he is an absolute fight fanatic.
Well, he's been that way with boxing for years.
When he says he'll
call me just to talk about fights. like that no one knows about. He said in the presser afterwards, he says he'll call me on a random night.
Yep.
And he'll talk to me about previous pay-per-view fights.
Yep.
And what his thoughts were, why he agreed or didn't disagree, or thought this guy won or thought that guy won. So he's obviously just a huge combat sports fan.
Yep.
I know he's a huge Dana White fan. And I know he's loyal to Dana through the ups and downs of his personal life and through the UFC and all of that. So, and listen, people appreciate loyalty. There's so little of it these days.
Yeah, like Don King as well, right?
Yeah.
Long relationship with Don King.
And obviously being, never going to back down.